Hey everybody, I recently had the pleasure of catching up with my friend Harold from Endofagnoia YouTube channel. Please go check him out over there, making great videos. Soon he'll be releasing a music track, which we spoke of, and we also discussed his pre-birth experience and some incredible connections that he has made recently. So thanks for listening. Oh, yeah, it's audio only. I will splice in some visual elements periodically. The one that you're looking at currently is the first oil painting that I ever made. The year was approximately 2001. It depicts a group of people on a raft in the middle of a stormy sea. It's called The Raft of Medusa. It's a reproduction of a famous painting that already exists. But it's interesting how it sort of ties into our human experience and looking toward any sort of freedom or light or information that can help keep us going despite the experience of seeming like you're barely treading water and hanging on for dear life here.
Everything is music, everything is frequency, and we should take it more serious, you know? We should just try to experiment with it ourselves, learn about it. And like this is for me, I was kind of proving it to myself. I'm like, okay, I've always heard the whole 432 thing. You never really know. Um, and I'm like, okay, well, no, I can see that I'm setting everything to this frequency, and I tried different ones. I'm like, this one just sounds better. It just feels better. You can feel it. And this right now, in the state that this thing is in, it's only 3 minutes long. When you press the play button, you can feel it instantly. And it's like, okay, well, there has to be something to this. So in a way, I was like, again, experimenting, trying to like see like, can I do this? Can I make a frequency that with my intention behind it being to heal, calm, everything in between, like, can that be done? And I feel like I did, like personally. Um,
And so I if I include this in our recording,
mhm.
are you going to have it released anytime specifically for the
um,
public?
no time specifically. I think probably in a couple weeks if I push it,
Okay.
because I want to make it accessible on all platforms. I already have a distribution that I use for other music that I've done.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna upload it there and then make it available for everyone. So like, people listen to music different ways, like Spotify,
Mhm.
uh,
Right. Everyone has
Bandcamp.
their
Like I'm gonna put
preference.
it across everywhere for free, and I want to make a video for it. So I also want to make a looped video that looks cool. So if they feel like watching it on YouTube, there's like a nice imagery. And then another thing I was thinking of doing, I'm not sure, I haven't researched too much about it, is I might do like a 24/7 live stream of it. So
Oh, I
I
love
know
that.
some more stuff I have to do. Making that stuff takes time. Like all the video I'm planning on doing is gonna take forever, and it's just
Right.
8 hours.
Yeah, yeah, I get it. I
So yeah,
It's just like we always have these as creatives, these big ideas that we're going to do these things, but and then they never it's just like, oh, but you're actually
yeah,
doing it. And so this is a good demonstration for
yeah,
people to experience, like when you actually focus and put the work into something that your whole heart
yeah,
is behind. It makes it so much more powerful. And what I was going to say earlier was about, especially if you do the 24/7 playing of it,
yeah.
what I noticed when you're talking about frequencies, and
Mhm,
it's like it's helping to recalibrate one's signal to be closer to their intention, because it's so, I feel like we're all broadcasting our specific signals from our field based on the memories and the different things that we hold in our individual morphic fields, like trauma or
mhm,
conditioning and all these patterns. And we
mhm.
need assistance to help, shake some of that debris away, as much as we are intention to do that for ourselves, to change our signal for whatever we want. Because we're doing it from inside our fields, it's really hard because It's like you need an it's like a tuning fork. It's like a tuning fork for our
Yep,
feeds.
yep,
Yeah.
yep. That was perfectly said. I think I told you maybe one of the last phone calls we had that I've been noticing that specifically in the past maybe about a year or so, where I've been really like working on myself.
Mhm.
And I guess you could say changing my frequency, right? Raising my vibrations, as cliche as it sounds. Uh,
No, I know.
and then and in noticing people around me, their attitudes are different.
Yeah.
I know I work like in a trade that's very
Yeah.
gritty, and
Yeah.
there's like a bunch of angry people and mean people. Like they're cut. This is a cutthroat thing that I do for
And
work,
you told me
and
that there's a pattern of you coming into the scene and people automatically treating you a specific way because of your title.
yes, yes, that's a given. I see that, but then they're they're like nice and they're sharing things with me like
Oh,
personal.
wow.
These are people I'm talking to for no more than like 2 minutes, and they're already opening up to me. It's strange. This has never happened to me. A
Yeah.
lot of my interactions are a lot more different, and I can see this shift. Even like I will see the shift where this person, I could see walking up to them, they're just in their own head. They're just, just churning with something. And then I just start, hey, what's up, man? Just that's it. Just a nice hello. And they
Yeah.
just, you can see their shoulders come down and they're just kind of like, oh, okay, you're okay. Like just not defensive. And then the weird thing is they end up wanting to share stuff with me. And this is, like I said, this is really new
Yeah.
and it's overwhelming. Like it's
That's a
so
huge
obvious.
testament because people don't have to think, should I trust this person? Do I want to
Hmm.
share anything? It's a it's an actual it's like a pressure systems, low
Hmm.
pressure, high pressure, and the fields, the electromagnetism, it seeks out balance. And so because you're holding this stability
Yes.
in your field, they don't even have
Yes.
to think. It's just that their field is
Yep.
seeking out that balancing from what you
Yep.
have.
Yep. And this year has been the year where I firmly I have given in and have seen enough evidence to know that it's real. It's just, and it starts with the individual. It starts with us.
Mhm.
If we have inner turmoil, guess what we're gonna do?
Yeah.
We're gonna create turmoil around us. It's that simple. Of course,
Yeah.
we're not responsible for everything, right?
Right.
But we are responsible for ourselves
Yes.
and how we react to our surroundings and how we react to what's churning inside of us.
And it takes work because you could think that you don't want to have a bad influence on something. But I was
Hmm.
thinking of this metaphor or analogy a while ago about um, food coloring. For some reason, when you drop a specific color in the water, it changes the water to that color. It doesn't matter
Yeah.
if that color is like, I don't want to be blue, I want to be red. Well,
Hmm. Hmm.
it's going to be blue because that's what your constituents are made of.
Yep. Yep. That's also it, for some reason that made me think of that saying, you are what you eat. And it's
Yeah.
also, got to be careful with what you consume, right? What energy are you taking in around you? What
Yeah.
are you doing with yourself every single day, every minute of the day? What are you eating? And not just food, but information, energy. Um, yeah, what are you eating, right? So
Yeah. What
I
are you
that's
consuming?
yeah,
Because you can't help it. It just becomes like the people
yeah,
that you hang around, the things that you watch, the things that you listen to, of course, what you eat, and your inner dialogue too. All of that shapes, and you can't think your way out of it. You just
yeah,
you become that way.
yep,
It's just like a
yep.
law.
And then what's preventing you from seeing that? What's preventing you from self-reflecting? Ego.
Right.
And it's okay to have ego, but how much? It's a form of attachment.
So I really loved your last upload on your channel. That was
Oh
incredibly
man.
so well done. It looked like it took a lot of effort and work and
Oh, drained
energy
me.
to sew that all together so perfectly.
Thank you so much. It drained the absolute shit out of me to do that video. If you look at the end of the video, you look at my face like it's all because I had to. I don't know if I told you, I had to re-record that 3 times.
Oh, no. Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
so all my recordings started getting
Why?
mixed up. I'm like, is this the bad take?
Oh,
Because there was a hotkey on my keyboard that I didn't realize was muting
oh,
my mic. And
oh
so I
my
was talking
goodness.
and making such good points, and then my mic was muted, and I just literally, by the third time, no pun intended, I was drained. Like I'm
Oh,
just cutting this short. I think the video would have been longer
oh,
if that didn't happen, but I got the main point across. That weird, super, super, super weird confirmation, linking my pre-birth experience to the Gospel of John, and it just makes no sense. I still don't know what it means, really. I don't understand why, but that I feel like my whole life I've always felt like, why me? I don't understand why this is only happening to me, like specifically some of these details. And then realizing that someone else from a long time ago, regardless, it doesn't even matter if the person exists or not, somebody wrote this down.
mhm.
Somebody wrote this.
It
Somebody
is
wrote this
really
weird
trippy.
specific detail. Like, I would really want to know, as someone like you study these things, you're very much into the metaphysical.
Mhm.
Like, think of the how specific that detail is. What do you think the odds are of something like that?
I didn't know that it was a thing in Gnosticism until you told me, and then I looked it
Yeah,
up, and I was I was baffled. And I got to see the progression as well. You telling your
yeah,
story and
yep,
hesitant to add that detail
yep.
because it felt bizarre, but then you did, you shared it and then finding out it's an aspect of because I'm thinking about from spirit to form and that process in the middle
Yeah.
and you as the golden orb and then turning into this polymorphic being at this certain state. And what is the wording in the text? What does it actually say? Do you know?
The actual verse, yeah, let me pull it up. I don't know by memory.
Right, right.
Um, but it leads me to also think like, is that what the trimorphic protenoia is? Like, I've said it myself and I don't even know what it means. I'm like, trimorphic
Uh-huh.
protenoia. What does that mean?
Well, that sounds like
Like,
the threefold form.
yeah, but like, isn't that one of the name of the books too?
I
Trimorphic
know
protenoia.
I think it's like the tripartite tractate. There
Yeah,
might
there's
be
that
another
too.
one. So protenoia means the first thought or primordial thought refers to the very first emanation from the infinite source, the invisible spirit. So that's what I would call the
The baby
ether,
form.
the etheric substrate, the very beginning, and then as those archetypes or areas of thought become charged, that's like the activation of the first thought. Yeah, the baby form and
So
trimorphic. Yeah.
I do not mean to interrupt you. I don't
No,
want to lose
no.
my train of thought from what you're saying. So that leads me to believe, or we've talked about this before, like how certain things are quite literal and certain things are talking about it in a different way. Like, what am I trying to say here? How the first form is considered, like you were relating it to the ether. Maybe it's both, right?
Mhm.
Because again, that was my actual body. That was what I was doing. And maybe that's exactly what how
No,
uh
it's not separate though. It's the
okay.
vibration, the sound, the illumination of the ether is what becomes the form. It there's no
Oh,
separation. It's that
I see.
concentration of charge, the vibration, the thought, the sound, and that develops its own specific quality.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. That makes perfect sense. And I'm looking at this let me see another one. And then so for the Marvin Mayer translation. So rather, there was a figure with several forms within the light. These forms appeared through each other, and the figure had three forms. And it's
Yeah,
so funny. And then when you read it that way, that's exactly what I said, what I was in my pre-birth. I first said I was a golden orb, the
right,
light, and then I was three forms through each other all at the same time. That's
right.
word for word what I said. And this is what it says in the Gospel of Thomas. It makes no sense. I don't, I'll never not be completely floored by this. It and, and I know it's a personal thing, but at the same time, it's like this is like evidence.
It
Like,
is evidence.
and you
I
have to
feel,
obviously
mhm,
believe my word, right? Like all I have
yeah,
is my word, but at the same time, like since I know you've known me, I knew nothing about Gnosticism when I first put my pre-birth experience video out. Nothing. I knew nothing about it. I knew nothing
right,
about the soul trap. I was actually kind of like a dwindling Christian at the time.
yeah, yeah.
So knew nothing at all. This was just me telling my experience word for word. And then here's this.
So I wanted to ask you, did you ever say like you felt that this is your first time here in Earth?
Yes.
Yeah, so
Yes, I
that's
feel like that. Yeah.
this is why I feel like you are recalling the very beginning stages of becoming a formed individual because you never got your memory wiped. So you are
Yep.
able to bring that foundational process through
Yep.
because you didn't,
Yeah.
you didn't get, you weren't a person or an individual and then you got your memory wiped and came back. You are
Yeah.
able to carry the remembrance from that that first stage of development, which is to have the proof in the Gnostic texts, however they were accessing their information.
Yeah.
Maybe one of them remembered as well. I don't know how
Yeah.
they got that gnosis.
Yep. Apparently just again, John saw this being. I don't know if he saw it in a vision, if he saw it literally the heavens opened up and this form just broke the simulation and came
Uh
and
huh.
talked to him or what. It's not real clear how this light being appeared to him. It's unbelievable. It's from some sort of witness saw a light like this in physical reality possibly or in a vision or like I said out of body experience. We don't know, but somebody saw something that is so specific. Think like again, how specific that is just bizarre. It's just
It's
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 so bizarre.
it's like watching an amoeba form or the cells like the zygote or something come together. It's so specific because that is the beginning stage of creation from spirit into form. And maybe
Yep.
in that specific time, there was less, the reason why, especially like the Essenes, they were able to communicate with the elements and they were doing a lot of fasting and their subtle senses were turned on. And
Yep.
now we
Yep.
can't really imagine what that would be like because of all the noise in the
Yep.
environment, the different wave forms and different, there's noises and frequencies that are, but we can't detect that are probably making it so we can't perceive specific
100%.
things.
100%. And then not all I was thinking about that too. Like I feel like their word is more valid than ours today. There's so many tricksters and snake oil
Mhm.
salesmen. Like back then, all you had was your word. They would kill people for lying. Like, like you don't lie,
Yeah.
and if you're a liar, you're you get casted out, you can't be part of the village. Like your word was your bond. And now, like you said, besides all the noise, the people are different. And technology is like so overwhelming. We're in an information overload. Um, and it's hard to sift out truth from lies and falsity on top of being bombarded with bad frequency. It's like it's this is a tough time to people think, oh, it's a good time for information. I don't really think so. I think they
It
were much more connected to the earth back then, like you were saying, and it just, you know, getting these downloads a lot easier than we can now.
Yeah, and I think there's a confusion or a misunderstanding of the value of all of the information because
Mm,
it's happening so fast and
yep.
it's way more than we're supposed to be able to handle. Like, even physiologically, our brain is only designed to translate whatever we need for our survival, and not knowing what's going on all across the world and what all these people are doing. And like you said earlier, we are what we consume. I was witnessing myself after, like, scrolling a little bit on a social media platform after I stopped and I was just resting and feeling into. I was feeling like all of those individuals that I like, they all rubbed off on me, their personalities,
Yeah.
their characters.
Yep.
And so it takes time, like at least
Hmm.
3 or 4 days with absolutely no input to be
Hmm.
able to start to hear what your input is, that
Yep.
pure gnosis that comes, that's like, that opens a door that gives you information that overrides the the information we think mistakenly is important to know. Like, it's just
Yep.
distortion and confusion.
Yep. 100%. That don't even get me started on the human body. I don't think people
No, go get
know
started.
the difference. No, like I think you've heard me say this a million times and I will always repeat it. I always bring it into the conversation because the difference between not having a body and having a body is so vastly different. There's no words that describe how much of a difference it is. It is like here in these bodies, we are like blind mole rats. You can barely
Yeah.
see, you can barely hear, you can barely feel. You are condensed, squeezed in this compression in these bodies, and you cannot access your true potential because you're in this compression. There's things you can't see, hear, feel, all that, we are handicapped, and
Yes.
there's only so much we can do, and that's okay. Like, it's just part of this, but it needs to be stressed. Like, people have egos, are like, oh, people think they're about all this education and all this, and it's like, guys, you guys, we're all blind right now. Like, just chill. Chill on the egos. You are not yourself when you're hungry.
Yeah. That's funny you said mole, blind mole. I just saw a video of somebody walking onto a into a mall, and they saw a mole on the sidewalk and it was just flailing around because it's blind, right? And it's just looking for
Oh,
soil, and it's like, but
mhm.
it's on concrete. And so she picks it up and walks it over to the soil. And it's just funny that I never see anything about, blind mole rats, and it's so
Yeah,
specific. And then here you are
just
using that as an example.
it, it's because, like, think about their lives. Their whole world is just dirt and brown.
Yeah,
And I didn't even see that. Like, they don't see anything. That's what it is. I mean, you can be out on the most beautiful, bright, shiny day. We are getting a sliver of light here.
I
Like, this,
know.
we are living in a shadow realm. This is not
You're right.
even close. I remember that being one of the most depressing parts about getting inside the body. It was like, oh my God, I have to look through these tiny peepholes.
Really? You
Like,
had that thought?
yes, 100%. And I'm like, I have to breathe. Like, breathing is like, oh, it's like it's a task. You're
I can't
working
even
all the
imagine.
time.
I can feel the frustration. Boy, can I ever,
Yes.
especially being paralyzed and not being able to, like, walk and
Yep.
run and stuff. That's like an extra layer
Yep.
of feeling
Yep.
this energy inside and my potential, and not,
Yep.
it's like wearing weights, those like weighted
Yep.
weighted a whole suit, and you're trying to swim in the water and you got all these
Yep.
weights on, and the
It's so
light is
true.
slowed down, and it's
Mhm.
trapped in this density, and it's this longing that never goes away of
Yep.
not wanting to feel that anymore.
Yep. We're separated from our wholeness. We are not, this is not our home. And that's why I feel like I always contend with people that say we're here to fix the place, and I don't really
Mm,
agree with that because I'm like,
yeah,
how do you fix physical? Like this is inferior in every
yeah.
single way. Why would we fix inferior? What about physicality can be good? I'm not
Mm,
sure. I don't see it. Just from this could be all ego and personal bias saying this, but
uh-huh.
man, I don't see it at all. Again, the colors, the airiness of not having a body. It's like actually breathing for the first time. It's like we're holding our breath right now. And then for
Yeah.
however long you live, and then when you die, you finally, and you're
Oh
gonna
my
open
gosh.
up and
I
be
can't wait.
yourself again. I know sometimes I even hate to say that. I kind of can't wait, but I'm like, I'm gonna make this while I'm here. I'm gonna
Yeah,
make it. I'm gonna
it
tough it
sounds
out.
morbid, but seriously.
It, yeah, no, serious. I just, I'm gonna tough it out. I'm gonna try to not
Yes,
let
me
this
too.
game I'm I don't want to become the world. Like I know this
No.
place is dark and trust me, of all people I know, sometimes people don't understand. Like I wake up in a panic sometimes, like
Yeah.
literal I feel like I have some kind of PTSD from this experience because no one knows the sounds that I heard. No one knows what I saw and felt before I came here. Only me. It's just my burden, whatever. But man, sometimes I wake up panicked that I'm here. I'm like, oh God, I'm here. I'm a human. I have to
Yeah.
breathe. And just freaking out that I'm in reality. Like,
It must be
yeah,
so much more painful to have access to that memory always rather than not having any memory of it at all.
yes, it is. It's not. In a way, it's both, right? I feel like I have an advantage because I have the know. Like I don't need someone. I don't need to see anymore. Like I know what's out there. Like I know what it is. I don't know how to explain it, but um, at the
Where
same
you came
time,
from.
like yes, yeah, and at the same time, I'm like, man, I gotta try to tell people about this. They're not. Maybe a lot of people aren't gonna believe me, and and then at the same time, I have that horrible memory and experience from like seeing what this place is, and it was a hellish feeling. And that always reminds me. I'm like, and I just get kind of nervous. I'm like, okay, I'm here. I know there's lurkers. I call them
Uh-huh.
lurkers. There's people out there that want to eat me,
Yeah.
literally. So I just I
There's
laugh about it,
layers
but I'm not. I'm coping. You know,
there's
I'm coping
layers
with this.
yeah, layers upon layers of the dynamic of predatorialism, eh,
Hmm.
from the metaphysical to the physical on an infinite amount of scales. And when you know the way that the torus, like the funnel that goes down into the center core of where everything gets like sucked into and then becomes created from, if you actually saw that,
It's the worst thing you can possibly imagine. There's no absolute, and then when your senses are heightened, you can. I heard everybody suffering.
oh my
Everybody,
god.
every single spirit to ever exist at every timeline. I heard everybody suffering internally,
Ugh.
externally. I also saw love. I saw everything, like all in one, just like a explosion, just it was horrible. And um, yeah, so that's my thing is my point. I think what I was trying to make there is I don't want to become this. Like this place can consume you, and you will be in torment if you don't learn to harness that energy, like
I
we've said before, and
um
turn it into gold.
the telepathy tapes came out with a whole new podcast series, and they're
Mhm.
talking about the different doors of perception, not that term, but that you can open, like, so animal communication, animal telepathy, telepathy that comes
Yeah.
from psychedelics, or all these different avenues that are possible for us to be able to feel into, like, we're in less than 1% of what reality actually is, and
Yep.
it's just
Yep.
so weird that so many of us feel that it's superior when we're really very limited.
Oh, 100%. It's so, like you said, it's less than 1%. It's even less than that. I wish there was a way I can describe it. I want so bad to like tell people how different it is. Like when I mean we're compressed, like if you, let's just use a scale, like the scale of what we think that how big the universe is. We are compressed. We are a universe compressed into an atom. When I felt every square inch of my spirit being squeezed into this body, and it
Mhm.
was horrible. And I felt it. Like I felt every moment, and it was going down, literal in the downward direction. Every centimeter, and I was moving at the speed of light, by the way. Every
Mhm.
centimeter, I felt my compression. It was just like, okay, here, this is a silly analogy. You know, like the Looney Tunes, where it's like it just like like you're just, and then like the logo like
Yeah.
zooms in like that, but just horrible. But it's
It's crazy because I've been thinking about how plasma, light, it's the excitation of the ether, that vibration, which
mhm,
sets off light, which then has its own quality, and that as it gains more charge becomes form and turns into a being. And
mhm,
your story of what you remember, it it talks about that process from a real individual's experience, which is really
yeah,
wild to have.
I know.
So when we were talking about in the past, when, how did he see some light being come into the atmosphere and take those different forms? It was like we see lightning or we see orbs or we see the aurora
Mhm,
borealis, but
mhm,
imagine how much more that people were able to see or perceive without so much noise and distraction and
yep,
filters.
yep.
And
Clean food,
yeah, and
everything.
it really does turn on your subtle senses when you are
Mhm,
fasting and when you're not distracted and when
mhm,
you're able to sit in your gnosis and have that guide
mhm,
your decisions from one day
mhm.
to another. I feel so many of us are lost because the decisions we're making aren't even coming from our purest place. They're coming from the programming from our subconscious. They're coming from all the seeding from other people's programming that we don't even know we're
Mhm.
picking up and adopting as a pattern
Yep,
for ourselves.
it's totally true, and it's again beyond words, beyond English language. It's sad because I just want people, like especially when it comes to me specifically, just to like just to take the information in, like just I always like think about this. I'm like, how do I talk to a skeptic about this? Like, they're just gonna not believe me because I don't have evidence. But I just want to art. I want to talk about these things. Like, let's
Mhm.
just say what I'm saying is fact. Okay,
Yes.
so stop wasting time. Okay, stop
Right.
wasting time, and let's actually figure this out. Like you were talking about the density thing. I didn't
Mhm.
know that this is like can be explained through the metaphysical or through physics at all. I just knew it. And then when I
Right.
heard someone explaining that, we're in a denser reality, I'm like, oh yeah, we are because I felt it. Like I know
Right.
we are. I know. And it is weird to have like that link to the other side. And I've never had any evidence ever. All these years, nothing at all. Nothing, zero,
How many
other than
other
other
people do you
experiences.
talk to or have you talked to that has the similar remembrance as you, like very as similar to you as you can think? Anybody?
Only Melissa,
Mhm.
and Melissa, her experience was different, a little bit different than mine. Um, and also Seth, only two people I think that I've directly talked to that have had an authentic
Did they
experience.
have the same experience of, like, from turning into a point of light or an orb of
No.
light into form?
Okay, orbs, yes. A lot of people that do I remember being orbs, golden orbs.
Mm,
Um, but not the trimorphic
right.
thing. That's
Yeah.
been me only, and that it blows my mind. I can't express enough how serious this is.
Do
Like
you think they just
how it's
don't
like,
remember that part? Because it seems like the process, it seems like it doesn't
yeah,
I don't know if it seems like a unique to you. I feel like that's
no.
a part of the process, but maybe they just didn't remember that.
It's for sure because the process of being born strips your memories. Like being in a brain, like a human body,
Right.
kind of strips the experience away because, like, for example, I've had remembrances since then. Like, I mean, again, if you've heard me say this before, the experience is more real than today, right? Like, I remember it
Yeah.
more clearly. But with that being said, some things are missing, and that's just being in this physical reality. Like certain things get blocked, and I think you're right about that. I think certain really big details can just be forgotten because, like,
Yeah.
for one, the rose, the flower that I saw a flower at
Oh,
one point,
remind
and
me
that
of
came,
that.
yeah, so this came through a remembrance, and a really silly remembrance at that. Of all people, it was Terrence Howard on
Oh,
on
yeah.
Joe Rogan. He talks about that's the only thing he remembers from his pre-birth experience is he remembers a flower, and that's it. And the flower, he said, gave him all the information of the universe. It helps him with his all of his weird, like, you know, calculations and inventions that he
Yeah.
has today because he remembers this flower. It was alive. And when he said this flower, and I was like, oh shit. And it was just like instant. Like I remembered. I'm like, I remember the flower. I remember it. I saw it too, and I tried to remember it, but it got taken when I came down. Like it disappeared. Like I totally forgot about it. But it's like this crystalline rose. I have a picture of it too. There was somebody that reached out to me, sent me an email after one of my videos, and there's this glossary, and it has a bunch of stuff. I don't know what to think of it, but let me tell you, I was scrolling through and it's like, and here's the crystalline rose heart, and I'm like, oh, that's exactly what it looked like. It was like the exact colors of this rose, and it's indescribable. It's alive. It's like there's depth to it. There's like a crystalline appearance around it. It can speak. It has consciousness. um it has like all the secrets to everything. Like I don't know. And actually, I would say every item does. Even like a blade of grass would have like all the makings of creation in it. So
Yeah. I think just like depending on the interface, it
mhm,
depends on how much you're able to access, like what your interface is made of.
yep.
But the flower, yeah, I remember when you're showing me, I I, I want to find that image again, and I'm gonna put it here. But
Yeah,
um,
crystal rose heart, if you
right, it's
crystal something like that.
it's not you. It's like a companion for you, or what?
I don't
Where
know.
did
It was
that
just
come
there.
in?
It was just in a meadow. It was just there. I was floating around. It was just sitting there. And I just went up to fly up to it because it was so beautiful. It was like every color is beautiful
When
turquoise,
you were an
pink,
orb,
purple. Yes, this was when I was the orb floating around.
before you got pulled toward that pool by the three
Yes,
beings.
yes, yes, yes. And they were sort of beckoning me the whole time. Like I was just kind of they were always talking to me the whole entire time, and I was ignoring them, and just trying
Because
to
okay, so
do my
you
thing.
said so okay, so the beginning stages of an interface becoming form to be able to access throughout the whole fabric of everything, the whole field of consciousness, the whole etheric substrate. You said that when you became, you became realized, and then
Mhm.
you started realizing that you had access to all information and you started
Yes.
asking questions.
Yes,
That's
absolutely. That was
amazing.
around the time, yep, where I was just I it was and I saw one example of what it felt like to for this to happen. First of all, it was bliss. Um
Mhm.
when it was an extra layer of just absolute wonder, like just question and answering at the speed of light, okay? And there was an anime that I watched back in the day. It's called Full Metal Alchemist, and the alchemist, he like gets access to this doorway because he does some kind of alchemy. I forget what it was.
Uh-huh.
It's super it this thing this whole anime is absolutely drenched in esoteric information.
Yeah.
But he goes inside this doorway, and like there's like a strip, like a film reel of information pouring into his head at the speed of light, and he just like screaming like ah, but I mean for me it was blissful,
Oh,
but for him it was like torture, I guess. But that's the best way to describe it. I was just up there and just pouring in information, and I always wondered what happened with that stuff. Like what happened with that information? And I realized
yeah.
later on in life that it's within everybody. Everyone has access to this right now, not just me.
Yeah.
Everybody has access to this information. They just need to go inside and just ask the questions. Ask
And
all
that's
the
the
hard
thing with
ones.
the nonverbal individuals or people who have had accidents or who have savant syndrome or something that made their brain
Mhm,
glitch out, right? Or it's not wired
mhm,
properly for what it's designed for to limit everything. They can ask any questions and get all the information.
mhm.
And
The filter is
it's
different.
being proven, there's demonstrations that they're doing to prove the telepathy, but also to prove, okay, so there's a person on the other side of the house that's reading a book, and then on the other side of the house is the person's son or daughter, or it doesn't even need to be, and
Mm,
they can read the book through their eyes. They can.
mhm.
It's not even sending a thought or anything. They just have access to different languages, different skills, anything.
Yeah, that's absolutely unbelievable. Yeah, it just everyone has this. They just need to quiet the noise and go within. Um,
We've just
and
why are we set up for such limitation? Is it a challenge to try and like figure out that you can somehow make your way past it?
I don't, I don't think so. I don't know. I don't know. I think this is in and of itself just the the one forgetting what it is and it needing that experience. I don't yeah, I guess you just said that in a different way. A challenge, I guess. I don't know. It doesn't sit well with me. I don't I
No,
just
it doesn't because it's really hard.
it is
It's
and
painful.
and intense. Yeah, I know. And but here's the thing though. I guess sometimes I when I think about this, when I think about the hard questions, right? Like why? You know, uh, I tend to think of video games, and I tend to think of like, well, I know for a fact, sitting here with you right now, talking about this, Heather, that this reality is a dream, and in some ways, it's not real. It's real because we're here and we feel the pain, we feel all the things, but it's not real reality. It's actually an illusion. It's not real. So is that why we're we have made the okay to come down here? Is that because we know it's not real? Is that why all the atrocities are, I guess, palatable?
I
Why this is
know.
I
It's not
don't
even
know.
palatable, but the way you say it right now is perfect
Yeah.
because that would be the only way that it would be
Yes.
okay.
That was my point. Thank you for clarifying that. I like, for example, in a video game, I'll play Grand Theft Auto. I'll go run over a pedestrian, okay? But I'm not a violent person, but in a video game, it's not real. So if this isn't real, is that why we're as spirit beings? Is that why we're okay with this simulation occurring? I don't know. I'm just making a suggestion. Because here's the thing that's not up for debate. We, I would even say, I don't want to say that. I don't like saying cold hard, like yes or no's, but we made the choice to come here. We are we are in control of our own destinies, period. There's no force out there that has the ability or power to make these decisions for us. Can they influence? Hell yes. We've seen that. We can feel it every single day. Do they have the influence? Do they have a lot of influence? Yes, especially when we are look at if you look at most attacks that we experience in our lives, like spiritual attacks, a lot of it happens like when we're asleep. You know, when
Yeah.
you're dreaming, when you,
Mhm.
why? Why is that? It's because we are vulnerable.
Right.
We're asleep right now, so we
Yeah.
are vulnerable. So yes, we are susceptible to this stuff, but man, damn it, we're in control. All right?
Uh-huh.
Period.
And what are what are some like felt lived examples of being able to hold that control, to be able to feel that it is possibly true?
Oh, my pre-birth experience. I hate to always go back to that again, but I made the choice to come
Mhm.
because just knew instinctively. I can't be destroyed. Hello. Why? I can't be destroyed. Period.
We're just hypnotized here.
Yes,
You
we're
knew
we're
you you
we're
knew you
gimped.
were gonna mhm.
Yeah, I knew what I was getting myself into. Um, that's one. And then out of everything I've been through in my life, I should be on the streets homeless. Like,
Yeah.
I know that I can pull myself up out of any ditch that's put before me, any, you know,
Yeah.
that alone in this physical realm, I know that I can overcome adversity and I know I could overcome any adversity in any layer, in any level. It doesn't matter what's thrown at me. Um, and I've proven that to myself in different ways. Like again, the main one, pre-birth, life experience, astral experience, dream experience, where they used to mess with me and still sometimes do when I'm not really on my game. And that's because, again, I am weakened, right? I'm in this physical reality. It's part of the game. But there's just an overwhelming knowing that we are in charge.
I
Yeah.
agree, and it's helpful to me because so often I feel down on myself or my situation, like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I don't I'm unable to express my full potential in the ways that I would really want to because of being paralyzed, this or that or whatever." But everybody is handicapped.
Yep.
Like,
Everybody, but
I forget that.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. Everybody's handicapped, and but what you're not maybe not realizing, and this is not just to like,
Mhm.
uh, I'm not saying this for no reason. That's a testament to your strength as well. Like I was just saying about myself, everything I've been through, everything you've been through, you're still on this phone call right now,
Yeah.
talking about very difficult topics, and you're making time to do this and create content, which is unbelievably amazing. So you have to give yourself credit too, you know? You have to
I
give yourself credit. You're here right now
Mhm. And what I'm really
through all that.
doing Yeah, I'm really going into not I'm, like, relinquishing control of a certain part of me where I feel like I have like, there's different aspects of yourself, right? Your the
Yeah.
ego and then the more essential part,
Mhm.
and for so long as an artist, I've been ego driven of like, "Oh, I'm gonna create this, and I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna do that,"
Mhm.
without being really driven so much from that inner light aspect of self. Now what I'm doing is I won't make something or I won't do content or create anything unless I feel the pull from that part of me. And so
Uh,
I realized that I haven't even wanted to make a video or anything in the last week and a half or so because I'm waiting for that s
it's not authentic.
spark of
Yep.
inspiration to pull me
You
to
can see it.
in a direction, and I'm not gonna just fill the space and try and make something and take up
Yep.
my energy for something else when it's more potent when it's coming from that space.
Yep. Yep. And unfortunately, we want to do more, but the time doesn't permit and energy doesn't permit, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, no, I'm in the same boat. I used to do the same thing. So like seriously, anything I've ever done, like with music has been definitely ego driven. And it's so funny. And this is not to sound churchy or anything, but like now that I'm like just doing it from the heart and like doing
Mhm.
it with really good intentions, like, I feel better. It's like,
Yeah.
I know I'm doing this for me and other people, and I'm it's so much more rewarding when you're just living in your true, authentic self, unapologetically. No, just living your true self is like the most rewarding thing. Doesn't matter what we're going through. Just like my key message that I want, for people that do
Mhm.
struggle is don't become the freaking world. This place sucks. Don't become it. Don't be
Yeah,
it. Don't
right.
do what they're do. You don't because then you're no better. Like don't. At some point, you have control over yourself, right?
And there is something to be said about being able to bring through a thread from the unseen, that the smallest eye of the needle, like to be able to bring through the a thread through that smallest eye of the needle, like that's almost like miraculous being able to do that. And what you were just saying about ego driven creation or doing it for validation or whatever, it's
Yeah.
because the whatever is being made is so fulfilling from the very beginning because of where it comes from. You're
Yeah.
not taking your energy outside of yourself to try to get something from somewhere else to bring it
Yeah.
back to you. And that's what, you know, depletes you, is when you remove yourself to
Mhm.
try to go to the external to get validation or inspiration rather than letting it form from within.
Exactly. Right now, I would call even like overflowing. Like that's
Mhm.
what it feels like right now. Like I feel like I'm literally overflowing with energy. And then and people and if people don't tap into that, they become a vacuum almost of energy. Like
Yeah,
they it's like a reverse, they just I gotta just beat this person down because I'm really bad. The world sucks. Blah 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 blah. You could just see it and feel
yeah,
it, and it's like and from my perspective now that I'm learning more about all this frequencies, I'm like are not dealing with yourself. You're not dealing with the things that have been done. It's not all your fault.
yeah,
You just need to realize there's something going on internal. Deal with it.
yeah,
Fill your cup.
yeah, yeah. It's like get to. So I imagine it like pipes that get calcified in your plumbing. It's got hard water and all this calcification built up, and it's not flowing properly, and
Yep.
you have to do the work to clear away all of that calcification so
Yep.
that you can feel that flow.
Yep. And it just when it flows, and you realize things, you realize that you're in control. You're not always perfect. You need to rein in your emotions, control them, not let them control you, et cetera, et cetera. Realize that again, trauma is a big one, right? Like
Yeah,
a lot of the issue is trauma driven, like, and some of it's not even you. It's generational. It's DNA trauma. It's in
yeah,
your spirit. It's like um, it's not all your fault, but start learning what the problem is,
and
and
it's
just
hard
just
because it hurts, right? It's like we are
yeah,
identifying with ourselves as these individual fragile beings, that are, this or that happened in that story. It's like we're crying out, a lot of us, "Look what happened to me. Look what happened to
yeah,
me. Isn't this horrible?"
yeah,
And that's valid,
yeah,
but there's, like, this process
yeah,
of being that comfort for yourself to rise above that and realize, like, there's strength and there's
yeah,
power and and the capacity to be able to gently put down those stories so that the looping is not
yeah,
continuing your downward spiral momentum, but you can realize that there's like an actual mechanism that you can work on, that you will become more of who you ever thought you could be because of anything that ever happened to you. There's like, even me with my limitations and the extreme pain and the stories that I still carry, still know that there's an aspect of myself that is flying so high and is able to experience so much magic and transcendence no matter what that's happening, like you said, like no matter what happened, you
Mm.
know, you really know who you are and what's going on, what reality is.
Yep, yep. You are the example of that. You said that absolutely perfectly. And I think everyone needs to do that because again, again, we are in control of ourselves. What good is it? Like again, if I would, for my example, if I were to
Mhm.
cave into everything that's been done to me, I just wouldn't be where I'm at. Like it's just that simple. I would not be able to
Yeah.
make videos. I wouldn't be able to make music. I wouldn't be able to talk to you. I wouldn't be talking to you. I wouldn't be okay. It's just I faced my shadow. You
Yeah.
know, I looked back. I looked inward, you know. Um, and it has been the best thing I've ever done, and I can see people who have done it. You can just see it by the way they talk, the way they act.
Yeah.
Um, and I think that's the pathway to true freedom you know, again, realizing that you're in control, you have the ability to um, again, to simplify it all, turn that lead into gold.
Yeah. Yeah, and I feel yeah, that was beautifully said, and I feel that I wanna stress that I don't feel or I'm sure you don't feel this as well, maybe you would agree, or I don't
Mm.
know, but it's not done, like, the work is an ongoing everyday process
Yeah,
while we're here in this form, right? It's not
yes.
like, "Oh, I did all the work and I'm an expert, and if you did
Mm,
this and that, then it's like we're still doing it just takes the discipline, the determination, the belief, and it gets a little easier sometimes, because there are cycles. It becomes contracted again, and then you have to remind yourself and, "Oh, I see, like, this really affected me," or, "This is really hard." Or you just keep gathering more tools to help you get back to that place of transcendence, and it
mhm.
doesn't it doesn't I don't think it ends until we're not in form, but, like,
Nope.
I never wanna come across as, like, I "Oh, wow, I'm able to do this," and you just have to and it's
Yeah,
hard.
no, yeah.
It's hard, it takes so much love. I think one of the first steps in doing this is learning how to love yourself and that inner narrative, like,
Mm,
I learned how 2 years ago stop talking to myself like,
yep,
down and instead
yep,
talk to myself like I would my own daughter or my best friend.
yep.
And you have to change that whole inner narrative, and that's a huge piece of it.
We talked about that before. I think my biggest turning point when I heard somebody say you got to talk to your younger self and give him a hug, and it was like
Mhm.
when I heard those words, I broke. I was like, "Oh my God, I've never done that,"
Yeah,
and it was heavy. Like I go to my younger self, I'm like, "Holy shit, I would have never treated you like that," you know?
right.
Like, wow. Wow, that's not normal. That's not
Yeah.
normal. And just hugging that little man, and now I can
Mhm.
talk about it with a smile on my face. Like before,
Yeah,
I'd be cracking all the time. Now I'm just like, once you deal with those things, again, don't become the world,
right.
um, and you're able to navigate this place in a more positive way. And I see this in another big way, Heather, to make a
Mhm.
finalized point, as
Yep.
part of shedding the attachments to this place. Because I
Mhm.
feel if you don't take care of these things, you may want to come back and fix them
Right.
because you're not utilizing the challenge that you wanted to come into. You're not taking care of the stuff that you were going to take care of, and then you are going to be the one that might say that you're going to come back. It's not a alien
Right.
that's gonna be like, "You're looping back in." It is
Yeah,
you,
right.
and that's what people
It's the
don't
part of
understand.
you that feels unfulfilled.
Yeah, it's an attachment, the ego self. The ego is a part of the attachment system. It's your ego. If you feel like you wanna, you're not complete and you didn't do what you don't remember, but you set out to do something, And it's a possibility. I'm not saying that's what it is, even though I
Yeah.
kind of think it is. I'm
Uh,
saying that possibility should be enough to scare you into like, hey, I should do some self-reflection. So I do not have attachments to this place. If I am truly done, I will
right.
shed all my attachments, all of them, and be
Right.
done.
And that's the process of some people call it recapitulation. They go through, some people get so intense, they have a journal and they write down every single person they've ever interacted with in their
I've heard about that.
entire life
I've
and
heard about
go
that. I would
through.
never be able to do that.
I know. Go They say there's like 3 or 4 month process every day
Oh my
of
goodness.
going through every interaction and taking back your whatever you felt was lost in that moment or however you would want it
Mm,
to be from your higher self standpoint so that you feel completely clear and there's
yep.
nothing that you regret or feel any sort of energetic pull to want to shift or change.
Yep. And I feel like part of the self-reflection process is that it's usually the ones that come up on their own, like, oh, I remember I did that. Or
Yeah.
this happened to me. Like, I'm telling you, I don't think there's any way I'll be able to map out my whole
I
life. I
know,
don't know
I
who
don't
I
think I
talked to
can.
today.
I know.
I don't even remember who I talked to a lot of people today, and I
I
have bad
know.
reactions weekly, so I just don't. Yeah, that's. I
It's
can see there's people out there that could do that. Sounds like a great thing. I just know I can't do it.
No, I don't think it's the only way. It's a
Yeah.
way. Yeah,
Yep.
it's
Yep. Yep. Yep.
but yeah, resolving those attachments is a huge one if you wanna feel 100% clean and clear of this experience and, like, because it takes time to sit with yourself and to be able to some we can't access a lot of us can't access the feelings until we take that time of isolation and realize, "Oh, wow, this memory." There I was reading something that, all the distractions or input, it takes away our capacity to remember. And when we have periods of isolation, memories come back we didn't even realize have a strong pull on us.
Yep.
So,
Yep. Yep.
yeah.
This has happened to me many, many times.
Mhm.
That's why I'm so glad I started taking up meditation.
Mhm.
It's changed my life. In the best way possible. It's just quieting the thoughts, taking just an hour of my day just to
Mhm.
myself to think. And sometimes they're not the best experiences because I'm thinking about things that really suck.
Yeah,
But um, it in the long run, it helps. It helps for sure.
it does. And I have compassion and understanding for everyone going through intense experiences here. It's not easy. And
No.
you're not alone and we're not alone. And I think that Harold, what you're doing with your channel, Endofagnoia, is so beautiful because you're demonstrating like rising above, being in the world but not of it. Like you're really showcasing that to bring through that smallest eye of the needle, that golden thread that shows a glimmer of something, the more potentiated potential of our essence that we can experience while we're here, to like don't give up. Like we all, even though it's hard, we're not alone, and just have faith and believe that it's possible to bring in some sort of transcendent to not add more suffering. Like you said with the music track that you're putting out, which I'm so excited for everybody to hear, is like you intentionally came from the purest place as possible because in the energy signature, like you didn't want to add any more suffering to people's experience here. And like,
Yeah.
how can we do that for ourselves and how can we do that for each other? And don't just give up and be like, the whole place is a, garbage fire or whatever. And YOLO and whatever, and don't care. Now
Yeah.
that's, I think, intentional. Like, no, we can ride we still have access to our hearts of hearts, and don't just throw it away and just, you know what I'm saying, like,
Yeah. I do.
believe in
You're
yourself.
amazing for that. You're amazing for that. By the way, our channel.
Our channel,
Our channel. It's not
yeah.
this my channel. It's
Yeah, and
our
you're in
channel.
our channel, The Subtle Realms, our channel.
Community channel.
Yeah,
Community channel. We're my one of my main goals is to we're Xing off gatekeepers and gurus on this
yeah,
channel. There's
nice.
no everyone is the guru and gatekeeper on this channel. Everyone. And I
Yeah,
mean that like eh, tongue in cheek. I'm not saying we're gatekeepers. What I'm saying is like
right.
everyone has the answers, everyone has truth. And
Mhm.
there's going to be no, leader or no bullshit dogma here.
Yeah,
This is for only open-minded people that just want to learn and experience things um, and express themselves in a positive way, and sometimes negative way. If we want to I'm gonna make a
transmute.
video about I'm gonna
Yeah,
make a video about physical reality, and what I
mhm.
saw, and that's gonna be very negative. So it's gonna be a very
Yeah,
dark video. But just speaking your truth and living in your truth is my main goal. And you know,
well,
thank you for contributing as well to the channel. I hope we do more. Seriously, I want
yeah,
to do more. Um, yeah, we'll talk about more ideas later if you're interested.
yeah, I just, like, if anybody doesn't know your channel, um, and wants to, create from that space that you were just describing
hmm
or
hmm
have some sort of encouragement to do so, how can they reach out to you?
Oh, my email. I can give you my email.
Okay, I'll put it in the description.
Yep, absolutely. I'm looking for more people for sure. One person that I really want to contribute.
Mhm.
I'm trying so hard to get him to do something.
Yeah,
He's dealing with stuff, and
mhm,
I love that guy. But
yeah,
yeah, I want to have a few different contributors and just making stuff, making stuff
mhm,
from the heart and having fun. Not It doesn't have to all be Gnostic based. Um,
mhm,
Even though I do believe Gnosticism ties in everything. But anyways,
mhm.
uh, I'm looking at all angles, and um, this is just the tip that I'm on. I mean, why would I
Mhm,
not be looking into Gnosticism at this point? I've gotten overwhelming
right.
confirmations and evidence that link to what I know internally, that I'm gonna keep riding this wave.